Why do we flatten perfect fifths? Thing is, Western music loves circles. We love our scales to go around in circles. We love our different keys to be able to modulate in such a way that we can find our way back to where we started eventually. But physics, much less of a fan of circles. So why is a fifth a problem? Well, going back to when scales were first developed, they were built using a physical phenomenon called the harmonic series. And this is when you hear a note played, you don't just hear that one fundamental note, but you hear overtones above it. You hear double the frequency, 3 times the frequency, 4 times the frequency, and so on. And if you look at that first overtone, which is double your original frequency, you get a note which is an octave above your original frequency. And if you look at that second overtone, which is 3 times the original frequency, you get a note which is an octave and a fifth above the original frequency. So if you just want a perfect fifth, you can multiply your original frequency by 3 to get a note an octave and a fifth above, and then divide it by 2 to bring it down an octave. So the frequency ratio of a pure fifth is 3 to 2. You multiply by 3, you divide by 2. Now in Western music, we have this concept of the circle of fifths, where if you keep transposing a fifth at a time, you eventually go around all 12 notes of the chromatic scale and end up back where you started. But the problem is, if you try that with this pure fifth, if you go around the scale with this 3 to 2 ratio through all 12 notes, you slightly overshoot where you started. You don't get a perfect number of octaves. But if you think about it, that makes mathematical sense. Because if you keep multiplying by 3 and dividing by 2, what you're doing is effectively multiplying by 1.5. And if you keep doing that over and over again, you're going to end up with some crunchy decimals. And over the centuries, people developed lots of different ways to get around this, using pure intervals for the most important notes and having slightly crunchy out-of-tune intervals for less important notes. But if you really want a true musical circle that is consistent throughout and allows you to transpose between all the different keys without any noticeable difference, you end up with what we've got now, which is equal temperament, where every fifth, and by extension every single musical interval, isn't quite in tune with its pure equivalent. It's always a bit crunchy, it's always a horrible long decimal, but it gives us that circle we want.